The stars twinkled in the vast darkness of space, oblivious to the grand events unfolding across the galaxy. For centuries, civilizations had risen and fallen, each believing they were alone in the universe. But now, a new era had begun. The Galactic Empire was born. It started with a single planet, Zor Prime, in a distant corner of the Milky Way. The Zorians were a race of tall, blue-skinned beings with 4 arms and eyes that glowed like amethysts. They had mastered faster-than-light travel long ago and set out to explore their galactic neighborhood. At first, the Zorians were peaceful explorers, making contact with other spacefaring races and trading knowledge and resources. But as their influence grew, so did their ambition. The Zorian High Council, led by the cunning and charismatic Emperor Xalax, began to dream of a united galaxy under their rule. "We must bring order to the chaos of the cosmos," Xalax declared to his people. "Our technology, our wisdom, our way of life. These are gifts we must share with all sentient beings." And so, the expansion began. The Zorians offered membership in their growing empire to the worlds they encountered. Many accepted willingly, seeing the benefits of joining a larger galactic community. Others resisted and were swiftly conquered by the Zorians' superior fleets. As decades turned to centuries, the Galactic Empire grew to encompass thousands of worlds. The Zorians were no longer the only race in power. They had incorporated the strengths of hundreds of species into their empire. Massive space stations and sprawling orbital cities became common sights around inhabited planets. Trade routes crisscrossed the galaxy, bringing exotic goods and new ideas to every corner of the empire. But for all their advancement, the empire remained ignorant of one small blue planet in an unremarkable spiral arm of the galaxy. Earth, with its diverse biosphere and its own emerging civilization, continued its journey through space, unaware of the vast power that had risen among the stars. In the gleaming capital city of Zor Prime, Emperor Xalax, now ages old but kept vital by advanced life extension technology, sat upon his crystalline throne. Holographic displays surrounded him, showing the ever-expanding borders of his domain. "Your Majesty," a slender, green-skinned advisor approached, her tentacles waving nervously. "We have completed our survey of Sector 9847. There are no spacefaring civilizations in that region." Xalax nodded, his glowing eyes narrowing. "Very well. Mark it for future colonization. What of the anomaly in Sector 7721? The advisor hesitated. We're not sure, Your Majesty. Our long-range scans detect unusual energy signatures, but we can't identify their source. It could be a natural phenomenon, or a civilization using technology unknown to us." Xalax finished, leaning forward with interest. "Fascinating. Prepare an expedition at once. I want to know what's out there." As the Emperor issued his commands, fleets of sleek, silver starships moved across the galaxy. They carried colonists to new worlds, ambassadors to alien courts, and soldiers to quell rebellions. The Empire's technology was a wonder to behold. Gravity manipulators, energy shields, weapons that could reduce planets to ash. Yet for all their power, the Empire had blind spots. Their sensors, calibrated to detect familiar forms of technology and life, often overlooked worlds that didn't fit their expectations. Earth, with its radio waves and primitive satellites, registered as little more than background noise to their advanced systems. In a distant arm of the galaxy, a small scout ship of the Empire drifted past the solar system. Its crew, bored and complacent, barely glanced at their instruments as they passed by. They noted a few unremarkable planets, a belt of asteroids, and a yellow dwarf star. Nothing worth reporting back to command. As the scout ship engaged its faster-than-light drive and vanished into the depths of space, the crew remained unaware of the momentous discovery they had missed. On the third planet from that yellow star, billions of humans went about their daily lives, arguing about politics, dreaming of the stars, and slowly building the technology that would one day carry them into space. The Galactic Empire continued to grow, unaware that its greatest challenge lay not in some distant, highly advanced civilization, but on a small blue world that had yet to take its first steps into the galactic community. Earth, in its isolation, was developing in ways the Empire could never have predicted. And when the two would finally meet, the encounter would shake the foundations of the galaxy itself. Years passed in the vast expanse of the galaxy. The Galactic Empire continued to grow, unaware of the small blue planet spinning quietly in an unremarkable solar system. But fate has a way of bringing even the most unlikely worlds together. It began with a routine patrol. The Imperial scout ship, Stargazer, was mapping the edges of known space, searching for new worlds to bring into the Empire's fold. Captain Zix, a veteran explorer with scales like polished emeralds, stood on the bridge, his 4 eyes scanning the holographic displays. "Another empty sector," Zix muttered, his tail swishing with boredom. Nothing but rocks and gas giants for light years. But as the Stargazer prepared to jump to its next destination, a young ensign named Laura spoke up. "Captain, I'm detecting an anomaly in a nearby system." Zix raised an eyebrow ridge. "What kind of anomaly?" Laura's fingers danced over her console. "It's strange. The third planet from the star is giving off unusual energy readings. They're faint, but they don't match any natural phenomena in our database." Intrigued, Zix ordered the ship to change course. As they approached the solar system, excitement began to build among the crew. They had discovered countless barren worlds and primitive life forms, but signs of advanced civilization were rare. The Stargazer entered the solar system, its advanced cloaking technology rendering it invisible to Earth's primitive sensors. As they approached the blue planet, the crew's eyes widened in amazement. "By the Emperor's crown," Zix breathed. "It's teeming with life." The ship's sensors revealed a world of incredible diversity. Vast oceans, sprawling forests, towering mountains, and sprawling deserts covered the surface. But it was the signs of intelligent life that truly captured their attention. Cities dotted the continents, glowing with artificial light. Satellites orbited the planet, and the airways buzzed with radio transmissions. The Stargazer's computers worked overtime to analyze and translate the flood of information. "Captain," Laura called out, her voice filled with wonder. "You won't believe this. The dominant species calls themselves humans. They've only recently developed space travel, but their technological progress is remarkable." Zix leaned in, fascinated. "How so?" "Their advancements are uneven," Laura explained. "In some areas, they're centuries behind us. But in others, Captain, they've developed technologies we've never seen before. Their approach to problems is unique." For days, the Stargazer orbited Earth, observing and recording. They watched in fascination as humans went about their lives, unaware of the alien eyes upon them. The crew marveled at humanity's art, music, and culture. They were shocked by the wars and conflicts, but impressed by acts of kindness and heroism. "It's like watching children," one crew member remarked. "Brilliant, creative children who might burn down the house while inventing something amazing." As the days passed, Captain Zix faced a dilemma. Imperial protocol demanded that they report their findings immediately. Earth was precisely the kind of world the Empire sought to bring into its fold, but something held him back. "There's something special about this world," Zix confided to his first officer. "I can't put my claw on it, but I feel like we're standing on the edge of something big." Finally, after much deliberation, Zix made his decision. The Stargazer broke orbit and headed for the nearest Imperial outpost. As they traveled, the crew worked tirelessly to compile their report. When they arrived at the outpost, Zix personally delivered the report to the sector governor. The governor's eyes widened as he read, his tentacles curling with excitement. "This is extraordinary," the governor exclaimed. "A civilization on the brink of interstellar travel, with unique technological innovations. The Emperor must be informed immediately." As the news spread through imperial channels, excitement built. Diplomats argued over how to approach this new world. Military leaders drew up invasion plans just in case. Scientists clamored for more data. Back on Earth, humanity continued its daily life, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing in the stars. They debated politics, dreamed of exploring Mars, and took their first tentative steps into space exploration. Little did they know that their actions were being watched, analyzed, and debated by the most powerful civilization in the galaxy. The stage was set for a meeting that would change the course of galactic history. As Imperial ships began to gather for an official first contact mission, Captain Zix stood on the observation deck of the outpost, gazing in the direction of Earth. He couldn't shake the feeling that the Empire was about to encounter something it had never faced before. "Good luck, humans," he whispered to the stars. "I think you're going to need it." The day Earth's skies changed forever started like any other. People went about their lives, unaware that high above, a fleet of sleek alien ships had entered orbit. The Galactic Empire had arrived, ready to make first contact. On the bridge of the Imperial flagship, Cosmic Envoy, Admiral Vex stood tall, his silver skin gleaming under the ship's lights. His compound eyes surveyed the blue planet below. "It's time," Vex announced to his crew. "Prepare the landing party." Meanwhile, on Earth, the first signs of something extraordinary appeared. Radar operators around the world detected massive objects in orbit. Astronomers' phones rang off the hook as observatories reported strange lights in the sky. In New York, the United Nations building buzzed with frantic activity. World leaders hurriedly gathered for an emergency session. As they argued about what to do, a message arrived from the alien fleet, broadcast on all frequencies in every known human language. "People of Earth, we come in peace. We are representatives of the Galactic Empire, and we wish to meet with your leaders. Please respond." Panic and excitement swept across the globe. Social media exploded with theories and reactions. Governments scrambled to formulate a response. After hours of debate, a decision was reached. The UN Secretary-General, flanked by leaders from major world powers, stepped out onto the UN building's front steps. Cameras from every news network on Earth focused on her as she spoke into a specially prepared transmitter. "To our visitors from the stars," she said, her voice steady despite her nerves, "we welcome you to Earth. We are ready to meet." High above, Admiral Vex received the message. He smiled, revealing rows of sharp teeth. "Excellent. Let's not keep them waiting." A sleek shuttle detached from the Cosmic Envoy, descending through Earth's atmosphere. Its advanced technology allowed it to land smoothly on the UN building's helipad, barely disturbing the air around it. The door opened, and out stepped Admiral Vex, accompanied by a diverse group of alien diplomats. Humans gasped at the sight of beings with multiple limbs, unusual skin colors, and features straight out of science fiction. The Secretary-General stepped forward, extending her hand in greeting. "Welcome to Earth." Vex looked at her hand curiously before mimicking the gesture. "On behalf of Emperor Xalax and the Galactic Empire, I thank you for your welcome." What followed was a meeting unlike any in human history. Inside the UN building, representatives from Earth sat across from beings from a dozen different worlds. Translators worked overtime, assisted by advanced alien technology that could decipher languages in real time. Admiral Vex spoke first. "We have watched your world for some time. Your species has great potential. We are here to offer you membership in the Galactic Empire." He went on to describe the benefits: advanced technology, access to resources from thousands of worlds, protection from cosmic threats. The Empire, he explained, had brought peace and prosperity to countless civilizations. Earth's leaders listened, alternating between awe and skepticism. Questions flew back and forth. How would Earth's sovereignty be affected? What would be expected of humanity in return? As the meeting progressed, tensions began to rise. Some Earth leaders saw the opportunity for advancement. Others worried about losing independence. The aliens, used to dealing with less developed worlds, seemed surprised by the complexity of Earth's political landscape. "You must understand," Vex said, his patience wearing thin. "Membership in the Empire is not optional. It's for your own good. Surely you see the benefits we offer." The Secretary General frowned. "Admiral, while we appreciate your offer, Earth is home to many nations and peoples. We cannot make such a decision lightly or quickly." Vex's compound eyes narrowed. "I'm afraid you misunderstand. We are not asking. The Empire has claimed this sector of space. Your world will join us, one way or another." A chill fell over the room. The tone of the meeting had shifted dramatically. Earth's leaders exchanged worried glances. This was not the friendly first contact they had hoped for. Outside, crowds had gathered, watching the alien ship and waiting for news. The atmosphere was electric with excitement and fear. Nobody knew that inside the UN building, the future of humanity hung in the balance. As the first day of negotiations drew to a close, both sides retreated to consider their positions. The aliens returned to their ship, while Earth's leaders huddled in emergency sessions. The people of Earth went to bed that night with their world forever changed. Humanity had taken its first steps onto the galactic stage, but it was clear the road ahead would be far from smooth. Little did anyone know, Earth had a few surprises of its own in store for the Galactic Empire. The days following first contact were tense on Earth. People everywhere watched the skies nervously, wondering what the aliens would do next. In the United Nations building, talks continued between Earth's leaders and the Galactic Empire's representatives. Admiral Vex, the lead alien negotiator, grew increasingly frustrated. He paced the conference room, his forearms gesticulating wildly. "Why can't you humans understand? Joining the Empire is not a choice. It is inevitable." The UN Secretary General stood her ground. "Admiral, we've explained our position. Earth values its independence. We're willing to establish friendly relations, but we won't simply hand over control of our planet." Vex's compound eyes flashed with anger. "You speak of independence, but you don't comprehend the dangers of the galaxy. There are threats out there you can't imagine. The Empire offers protection." As the arguments heated up outside the UN building, protests erupted. Some humans welcomed the aliens, holding up signs that read, "Take us to your leader." Others were less enthusiastic, with banners declaring Earth for humans. Meanwhile, in secret facilities around the world, Earth's top scientists and military leaders were hard at work. They had been preparing for this moment for decades, ever since the first hints of alien life were discovered. Dr. Emily Chen, head of a classified research project, looked up from her computer with a smile. "It's ready," she announced to her team. "Project Firewall is operational." Back at the UN, the negotiations took a dark turn. Admiral Vex, losing patience, decided to show Earth the Empire's power. With a flick of his wrist, he activated a holographic display. "Observe," he said coldly. The image showed a massive Imperial warship in orbit around Earth. "This ship's weapons could reduce your largest cities to ash in seconds. Will you reconsider your position now?" A gasp went through the room. Earth's leaders exchanged worried glances. The U.S. president leaned forward, his face grim. "Are you threatening us, Admiral?" Vex's mandibles clicked in what might have been a smile. "Merely demonstrating the reality of your situation. The Empire always prefers peaceful integration, but we have other methods if necessary." The room erupted into chaos. Some leaders argued for immediate surrender, while others called for resistance. The Chinese premier stood up, her voice cutting through the noise. "We need time to discuss this among ourselves." Vex nodded reluctantly. "You have 24 hours to make your decision. Choose wisely." With that, he and his delegation left for their ship. As soon as the aliens were gone, Earth's leaders sprang into action. Secure communications lines buzzed as they conferred with their governments. Military forces around the world were put on high alert. In her lab, Dr. Chen received an urgent call. "Is it ready?" the president asked. Chen nodded, even though he couldn't see her. "Yes, sir. On your command." The next day, as the deadline approached, tension filled the air. The alien shuttle once again landed at the UN. Admiral Vex strode into the conference room, confident of victory. "Well," he asked, looking around at the grim faces of Earth's leaders, "what is your decision?" The Secretary General stood up slowly. She took a deep breath, then spoke clearly and firmly. "Admiral Vex, on behalf of the people of Earth, I have a message for you and your empire." Vex leaned forward expectantly. "Our answer," she continued, "is no. Earth does not submit. Earth does not surrender. And as of this moment, Earth is declaring itself off-limits to your empire. You are no longer welcome here." Vex's eyes widened in shock, then narrowed in anger. "You fool. You have no idea what you're doing. The empire will." But he never finished his sentence. At that moment, Dr. Chen activated Project Firewall. A shimmering energy field sprang into existence around the Earth, encasing the entire planet in a protective bubble. Vex's communicator crackled to life. "Admiral," a panicked voice called. "Our ships, they're being pushed back. We can't penetrate the planet's defenses." For the first time, uncertainty flickered across Vex's alien features. He looked at the human leaders in disbelief. How? How is this possible? Your technology, your primitives." The U.S. president allowed himself a small smile. "We may be younger than your empire, Admiral, but we're full of surprises. Now I believe you were just leaving." As alarms blared and the energy shield hummed, the story of Earth's defiance spread across the stars. The small blue planet had stood up to the mighty Galactic Empire, and for now, at least, it had won. But everyone knew this was just the beginning. The real challenge was yet to come. The Galactic Empire's ships hung in space, just beyond Earth's newly revealed energy shield. On the bridge of the flagship, Admiral Vex paced back and forth, his forearms clenched in frustration. "How?" he muttered. "How did these primitives develop such advanced technology?" His second-in-command, a tall, insectoid alien named Zix, approached cautiously. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from Earth." On the main screen, the face of Dr. Emily Chen appeared. Her expression was calm but determined. "This is Dr. Chen of Earth's Defense Initiative. Your ships are in violation of Earth's sovereign space. You have 1 hour to retreat beyond the orbit of Mars, or we will be forced to take action." Vex's compound eyes narrowed. "You dare threaten the might of the Galactic Empire? We have conquered worlds far more advanced than yours." Dr. Chen's face remained impassive. "This is not a threat, Admiral. It's a courtesy. 1 hour." The screen went dark. Vex turned to his fleet commanders. "Prepare all weapons. We'll show these humans the true power of the Empire." But as the Imperial ships charged their weapons, something unexpected happened. Small objects began to emerge from Earth's atmosphere, passing easily through the energy shield. "Admiral," Zix called out, "we're detecting hundreds of small craft launching from the planet's surface." Vex squinted at the tactical display. The objects were too small to be traditional spacecraft. "What are they?" "Missiles." Before anyone could answer, the small craft accelerated to impossible speeds, streaking towards the Imperial fleet. As they approached, they began to change shape, transforming into sleek, deadly-looking fighters. "Impossible," Vex breathed. "They have metamorphic technology." The Earth fighters engaged the Imperial fleet with startling efficiency. They darted between the larger ships, their energy weapons slicing through the Empire's supposedly impenetrable shields. On Earth, in a hidden command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Chen and her team monitored the battle. Holographic displays showed the positions of every ship, fighter, and weapon. "Nanite swarm performing at 98% efficiency," one technician reported. "The Empire's ships can't adapt fast enough to our changing attack patterns." Dr. Chen nodded, her face grim. This was the moment they had prepared for over decades. Ever since they had detected the first signs of the Empire's scout ships years ago, Earth had been secretly preparing its defenses. In space, the battle raged on. The Imperial ships, despite their size and power, found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. The Earth fighters, composed of billions of networked nanites, could change their form and function on the fly, adapting to every counter-strategy the Empire deployed. Admiral Vex watched in horror as ship after ship in his fleet went dark. "This is impossible," he roared. They were savages just discovering spaceflight. How could they have this level of technology? As if in answer, his communications officer called out, "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the humans." The main screen lit up again, this time showing the face of the UN Secretary-General. "Admiral Vex," she said, her voice firm. "Your attack has failed. Your fleet is in ruins. We ask again, leave our solar system immediately." Vex's mandibles clicked in anger. "Never. The Empire does not retreat." The Secretary-General sighed. "We hoped it wouldn't come to this." She nodded to someone off-screen. Suddenly, alarms blared across the Imperial flagship. "Admiral," Zix cried out, "something's happening to our systems." Across the Imperial fleet, ships began to power down. Weapons went offline, engines died, and life support systems flickered. Back on Earth, Dr. Chen allowed herself a small smile. "The cyber warfare package is working perfectly," she said to her team. "We've taken control of their entire fleet." In space, Vex and his crew found themselves helpless, their mighty ships now little more than floating hunks of metal. The Earth fighters surrounded them, herding the powerless Imperial vessels away from the planet. As the last of the Imperial ships was pushed beyond Mars' orbit, Dr. Chen turned to the Secretary-General. "It's done," she said. "Earth is safe for now." The Secretary-General nodded solemnly. "But this is just the beginning, isn't it?" Dr. Chen's expression was grave. "Yes. We've revealed our hand now. The Empire will be back, and they'll be prepared next time." As news of Earth's victory spread across the planet, celebrations erupted in every city. But in the halls of power and hidden research facilities, leaders and scientists alike knew the truth. The real battle for Earth's future was just beginning. In the vast reaches of space, the remnants of the Imperial fleet limped away, carrying with them a message that would shake the foundations of the Galactic Empire. Earth was not to be trifled with. The news of Earth's victory over the Galactic Empire spread across the stars like wildfire. On countless worlds, in smoky cantinas and gleaming palaces alike, beings of all shapes and sizes whispered about the small blue planet that had defied the mightiest force in the galaxy. On Zor Prime, the capital world of the Empire, Emperor Galactic sat upon his crystalline throne, his aging blue face creased with worry. Before him stood Admiral Vex, head bowed in shame. "You mean to tell me," Galactic said, his voice dangerously quiet, "that a primitive world on the edge of the galaxy defeated our most advanced fleet?" Vex's forearms trembled. "Your Majesty, the humans, they have technology we've never seen before. Shields that can envelope an entire planet, fighters made of shape-shifting nanites, cyber weapons that can disable our ships with ease." The Emperor's glowing eyes narrowed. "Impossible. No world could advance so quickly without our notice." In the shadows of the throne room, counselors and nobles whispered among themselves. Some called for immediate retaliation, others for caution. The Empire had never faced such a humiliation in its long history. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, other powers watched with great interest. On the forest world of Arborea, home to a loose confederation of independent planets, the High Council gathered in their treetop chambers. Councillor Zara, a willowy being with bark-like skin, addressed her peers. "This Earth has done what none of us dared to do. They've stood up to the Empire and won. Perhaps it's time we reached out to them." In the Outer Rim, where the Empire's influence was weaker, opportunistic warlords and rebel factions saw their chance. Fleets were mobilized, borders tested, as the galaxy held its breath, waiting to see how the Empire would respond to this unprecedented challenge. Back on Earth, leaders grappled with their new reality. In the UN's newly established Galactic Affairs Office, heated debates rage. "We should press our advantage," General Williams argued, pounding his fist on the table. "Strike at the Empire while they're reeling." Dr. Chen shook her head. "Our technology gave us the element of surprise, but we're still just one planet against an entire galaxy. We need allies." The UN Secretary-General listened to all sides, her face grave. "We've protected Earth for now, but we've also painted a target on our backs. Every power in the galaxy will be watching us, some with fear, others with envy or curiosity." As if on cue, a junior officer burst into the room. "Madam Secretary, we're receiving transmissions from all over the galaxy." The main screen lit up, showing a flood of incoming messages. Some were threats from Empire-aligned worlds, vowing revenge. Others were cautious greetings from independent planets, curious about the world that had defied the Empire. A few were even offers of alliance from rebel factions and rival powers. "It seems," the Secretary-General said with a wry smile, "that Earth has become the talk of the galaxy." In secret laboratories around the world, scientists worked tirelessly to unlock more secrets of the advanced technology that had saved them. Dr. Chen led a team studying a captured Imperial ship, marveling at its faster-than-light drive. "With this," she murmured, "we could reach the stars. We could meet these alien races on their own terms." But even as Earth celebrated its victory and looked to the future, dark clouds gathered. On distant worlds, Empire loyalists called for blood. Bounty hunters and assassins began to chart courses for the Sol system, lured by the promise of fame and riches for bringing Earth to its knees. And in the deepest, most secure vault on Zor Prime, Emperor Xalax activated an ancient communication device. Its light pulsed eerily as it sent a signal deep into the unknown regions of space. "Old friend," Xalax spoke into the device, "I need your help. The Empire faces a threat like never before." A chilling, inhuman voice responded, "We have foreseen this. The humans of Earth have upset the balance. They must be corrected." As the galaxy buzzed with news of Earth's defiance, as new alliances formed and old ones crumbled, the stage was set for a conflict that would reshape the very fabric of galactic society. And at the center of it all stood Earth, a small blue planet whose actions had triggered a storm that would sweep across the stars. The next move belonged to humanity. The galaxy watched and waited. 6 months had passed since Earth's shocking victory over the Galactic Empire. The planet buzzed with activity as humanity prepared for its new role on the galactic stage. In New York, the United Nations building had been expanded, with a massive new wing dedicated to extraterrestrial affairs. Diplomats from a dozen alien races now walked its halls, their strange forms drawing curious glances from human staffers. Dr. Emily Chen stood at a window, looking out over the city skyline now dotted with advanced defense platforms. She turned as the UN Secretary-General entered the room, followed by a tall, tree-like alien, Ambassador Zara from Arbore. "The latest reports from our deep space probes are in," Dr. Chen said, activating a holographic display. "The Empire's forces are massing at these points, but they haven't made a move yet." The Secretary-General nodded gravely. "They're being cautious now. Our victory surprised them, but they won't underestimate us again." Ambassador Zara's leaves rustled softly. "Many worlds watch Earth with great interest. Your defiance of the Empire has inspired hope and fear. The galaxy's balance of power is shifting." Meanwhile, in orbit above Earth, a gleaming space station took shape. The Harmony was humanity's first true interstellar port, built with a mix of Earth technology and knowledge gleaned from their new alien allies. On the station's observation deck, General Williams watched as ships from a dozen worlds docked, bringing diplomats, scientists, and traders. "I never thought I'd see the day," he murmured. A young lieutenant approached him. "Sir, we've detected an Imperial probe at the edge of the solar system. Should we destroy it?" Williams shook his head. "No. Let them watch. Let them see that we're not alone anymore. Back on Earth, in hidden facilities around the world, human scientists worked alongside alien experts, pushing the boundaries of technology. Faster-than-light drives were being perfected, and the first human colony ships were under construction. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. In cities across the globe, protests erupted. Some humans feared the rapid changes, calling for isolation from galactic affairs. Others demanded more aggressive expansion, eager to carve out a human empire among the stars. In Washington, D.C., the president addressed a joint session of Congress. "We stand at a crossroads," she declared. "For centuries, we looked to the stars and wondered if we were alone. Now we know the answer, and it has changed everything. We must move forward with courage, wisdom, and compassion." As Earth grappled with its new reality, the wider galaxy continued to churn. The Galactic Empire, still reeling from its defeat, faced internal strife. Several outlying worlds, emboldened by Earth's example, declared independence. On Zor Prime, Emperor Xalax faced a council in open revolt. "We cannot let this human world defy us." One councillor shouted, "We must crush them, show the galaxy our strength." Xalax raised a hand for silence. "The humans have powerful allies now. A direct attack would be disastrous. We must be subtle." In the shadows, Imperial agents were dispatched across the galaxy. Their mission: to sow discord, to turn Earth's potential allies against them, and to uncover the secrets of humanity's advanced technology. But Earth wasn't without its own plans. In a secret facility beneath the Mariana Trench, Dr. Chen put the finishing touches on Project Starlight, a network of faster-than-light communication relays that would span the galaxy, with Earth at its center. "With this," she explained to the Secretary General, "we'll be able to communicate instantly with our allies across vast distances. It will change the nature of galactic diplomacy and trade." As the first relay launched into deep space, carrying humanity's signal to the stars, the Secretary General turned to Dr. Chen. "Do you ever wonder if we've moved too fast? In less than a year, we've gone from a single-planet species to a major galactic player." Dr. Chen smiled. "History rarely asks if we're ready for change. It simply presents the challenge and waits to see how we respond." Across the galaxy, on countless worlds, beings of all kinds looked to the skies with new eyes. Some with hope, some with fear, but all knowing that the age of the Galactic Empire was ending. A new era was dawning, one in which a small blue planet called Earth would play a central role. As Earth's first ambassador prepared to depart for the neutral world of Centauri Prime, where representatives from across the galaxy would gather to discuss a new galactic order, humanity stood on the brink of its greatest adventure. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned, and Earth, against all odds, was ready to answer the call.